Really cool to hear from Vincent there. Very well-spoken young man. And unfortunately, though, he's got some work to do. He finished in 6th place in both the first 2 matches here in this best of 3, getting himself 2 points per. So he's at 4 points total. Everyone can start doing the math there. If he wins, he gets 9 points. 9 plus 4 is 13. Maybe that's enough to sneak into the top 4 should things go his way.
Yeah.
But not the spot he necessarily wants to be in at this point.
It's a rough spot, and competition is fierce at this level. And I think a lot of our North American and European competitors have come in expecting maybe a slower meta, expecting maybe a meta that reflected the qualification meta, but it has been very fast. And to be honest, I will be honest, in a best of 3, we've just had a lot of games where people have high rolled really hard, and unfortunately, people have been hit by them at the lower end of the table.
I mean, that's just the nature of playing a best of 3. There are going to be players who do have a round that is just above average of what you can expect, but the goal is to at least try and have your worst round be like 5th,
Right.
maybe 6th.
Right.
If you then follow it up by 2 solid rounds, you cannot have 2 6s, 2 7s. Like that's not going to work.
And the thing is, we've seen a ton of variants too, where we have players who get first not even make it through.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, anything can happen. You got to play your game. Don't try to reach too much. Don't try to do anything too foolish. But maybe at this point, you got to do something crazy to get yourself
for some of these
into
players,
the top 3.
yeah,
you got to take some risks at this point.
Yeah, they might if some of these players, if getting 3rd isn't enough to qualify them, they need to go for those plays that are either first place or dead.
All right. Well, gentlemen, it is time to get into the final match of this best of 3. But first, I hear we're actually going to hear with one of the best players currently in attendance. I'm excited to hear this next interview.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate in how good that I am at the game. So I just need to keep doing what I'm doing and be the best. And I have no doubts that I will win.
Well said. Well said by one of the best players in the game right now in this arena, and really hope to see what he can pull out when the game does finally come to them. But right now, we are on the final match of Group C.
I'm interested to see if Axel can both host and play
at the same time. I don't know. We've seen some players qualify while playing another game.
I will not name names.
Neither will I. I'm just saying it's a thing.
It is a thing that happened.
It's a thing that has happened.
There is a player that qualified in this group that missed the first game of qualification and still qualified for the World Championship.
Also, yeah, but he missed it because he was currently competing in another game at the same time.
At the same time. So yeah, he's definitely got.
It was Axel.
It was Axel. Yeah, it was Axel. We'll see how these guys end up doing after the 3 neutral rounds. We can have a quick look at the items afterwards and take a brief look at the overall 2 stars that sit on the field. You can see a lot of items going in the way of Vincent. Vincent actually getting a little bit of a break this time round with the items that he's picked up.
No one really being too bad off this time around. Seiko has obviously the weakest number of items, but it's not the worst situation that we've seen. We also haven't seen anyone particularly high roll items just yet either.
Lucky didn't find all of the crazy number of items that she found on the previous. But she's again open forting and again looking to do Glacier Knights. It's the inflexibility that has maybe punished her over the last few rounds. But we'll see if it can work out for a final game here. Lucky at least knowing which strategy she likes and trying to play it to perfection. Hasn't been as successful as you maybe would have hoped as a Glacier Knight player, but that's maybe because Glacier Knight has been so popular for this lobby in particular.
This group in particular, and I think a lot of people, it's possible that players came into this group seeing how unpopular Glacial Knights was in previous groups, and that kind of may have baited them all into it.
We'll see how Vincent does here. He's got a Unicorn, which is actually a fairly powerful early game unit. Kind of drops off the more units that you pick up, because some people don't know the healing is actually shared. So the value that you see on her healing is actually shared between every unit that is stuck in her circle. So the more units they have, the less powerful her effective healing is on individual targets.
It's also not as good when you're going up against comps like mages, especially that have a lot of burst damage, because it's more of a healing over time.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, of course, you can do the math. It's not going to heal as much if you're dead before the heal can happen. But Archdevil right now, leaning into Hunters.
I heard that. I heard that if you die, you don't get healed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm writing this.
Right.
I just made that up, but I'm glad I must have heard it somewhere, I guess.
Glacier coming out very early for Durf here. Looking at Vincent as well, he has got a Fallen Witcher on his field. Will we see a potential Fallen Witcher special that we saw win 2 lobbies in the previous group?
2 separate lobbies by 2 different players, right?
Yep,
yeah,
2 different players.
2 different players
Tutu and I believe Jinsu.
Yes.
Tutu and Jinsu won both lobbies with one was a Glacier Fallen Witcher build, the other was a traditional Glacier, traditional Fallen Witcher warrior build.
I mean, we'll see if it happens. Steeler right now, prepping his own team composition, leaning into Knights himself. Not too much Glacial right now, but either way, still trying to set you up. It's still only round 7. Not a full commit onto any comp just yet, but the 2-star on the Frost Knight. There's a little bit of damage to lean into. We already talked a little bit how that character isn't the best as far as damage goes, but in the early game, the fights tend to last a little longer, and so that allows the damage to really stack up. And you see how long the Frost Knight was in this match, and that is probably one of the reasons why Stilo is going to be winning this round, also because of the damage coming out from the early 2-star Igris's Ranger. But Stilo's going to win this. If we can have a chance to look at the current streaks right now, well, as Lucky actually pulling in a character for the open 4 just to mitigate the damage. But the streaks right now looking a little bit even across the board. Vincent and Archdevil both on 4. Philip and Lucky both on 4 loss streak. GA right now with the 2-star, early 2-star God of War. Good defensive unit. And then Philip, not exactly sure what composition they're leaning into right now. It's kind of just a little bit of everything. Possibly going feathered. That's a lot of feathered on the sideboard, but not on the main board necessarily. And yeah, it's actually going to be because of that. Not a lot of damage on the main board either. It's going to be Stilo's board that's going to win out. Philip's going to be taking a little bit more damage. Luckily, does have the shield. Only takes 5 off of that one, down to 78. And down to Lucky, who has been open fording. And yeah, this is definitely a commitment towards the Glacial Knight. That's a lot of Glacial on the sideboard. Don't know why you're not combining the Frost Knight, just because that is a net neutral combination and sell if you do decide to go away from the Glacial Knight. But nonetheless, still a full commit. GG Aaron, the process of a transition, with the Fortune Teller being left strictly for the open fording. But for now, we actually are going to have another clip with Seiko, so let's take a quick look at that.
At the start of the game, I just hope to get a good early game, collect as many 2-stars as I can, and pray to RNGesus that I get the 2-stars. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, back to Seiko. He's actually doing a good job in his own board right now, just defeating Lucky.
He's certainly got a lot of 2-stars.
He does.
That's it is a pretty solid strategy. I would always recommend that if you're new to the game and you're looking to, in general, try and win as much as you can, don't think about your composition as soon as you come in. Just try and get 2-stars. And the best way to do that is pair up as much stuff as you can. Just find pairs, put them on your bench.
Yep.
If you hit that 2-star, throw it on the field. That's basically what Psycho has done here, and he's got the Goblin 2-stars as well. If he finds a 2-star Skybreaker, he's in a really solid spot until about round 16, round 17, and he can transition into whatever he likes.
He's even selling a number of units just to make sure he hits that 20 gold investment breakpoint.
Yeah, that's really good because it's going to allow him to get a guaranteed extra 2 gold on this neutral round. It's going to accelerate him to 50 gold. Should be able to hit 50 by about round 13 or 14, which will allow him to then work into the Wolf round with that extra interest as well. It's he's generally in a really good spot right now, and he doesn't even need to perform that well in this particular lobby to actually qualify. He's already at the top of the table. And
that's actually one potential reason why he's also leaning into just like throwing 2-stars on the board, because he doesn't need to build up into a particular composition just yet. You don't need to go for any sort of those what was called like the level 5 roll down Knights, the Goblin Gamble, and try and guarantee the win off of that. Just use the early game advantage that you can find, spin that into a good economy, and spin that into a sizable build that'll last you until like top 4.
Archdevil is gone for a Hunter early build here right now. We know how powerful Hunters can be in the early game. He's in a really, really good spot. I'd be interested to see where Vincent is and Durf is in terms of their builds, because these guys are people that are genuinely trying to play for the top end of the table right now. Vincent actually at, well, I wouldn't say his build is strong, but he's not in a bad spot.
He's not. He is going up against Archdevil, though, who is, once again, top rolling this lobby, still at 100 HP himself. And so that particular fight may not be the best one to look at. Durf here also lost his own lobby against, who is that? Scanning, Seiko.
Durf with Glacier Mage.
Okay.
Not that I think he's going to stick with this Glacier, but he has got a Berserker there right now. It is a very wild build that he's run with. He has two directions. He could commit to the Mages, or he could go for the Glacier Knights, maybe.
He's leaving the options open.
But Lucky and Seiko are both going for Glacier Knights.
Yeah.
So he's already a little bit behind the curve in terms of competition here. Two open forces, by the way, GG Ira and Lucky.
Two Fortune Tellers, actually, to even avoid that. Try to mitigate the damage when you can. It was Lucky from the very beginning, unsurprisingly, and Philip came into it, I believe, a couple of rounds ago. So realized that he was losing a lot of rounds and said, you know what, I'm just going to commit to it. Bring out the Fortune Teller, let's get this thing going.
Yeah, not true open forts because they both have a Fortune Teller out on the field, but it's one single Fortune Teller versus the other, which more than likely results in a draw depending on where they're positioned and who attacks first.
Sure, that is a very slow fight.
It is a slow fight, yes. Especially if they both manage to generate enough mana to get their ability off.
Two Fallen Witchers, two Werewolves brought in, another Fortune Teller picked up by Stilo to be thrown that in. Yeah, basically the entire pack picked up by Stilo.
He is also looking at Glacier Knights.
Look, yeah, so a lot of players are currently looking at Glacial Knights. Very few, it seemed to have fully committed just yet, but they're leaving the option open. Oh, okay, selling the Fallen Witcher like a coward. That's fine.
So Stilo has 100% committed because he's got a 2-star Lightblade Knight and he's got the rest of the Glacier. So I can safely say that he's in a position where he's happy to commit to Glacier Knights.
Okay.
Seiko, I think, is doing the same thing. I can imagine Lucky is also doing the same thing. There is a lot of Glacier Knight in this lobby once more, and that puts Lucky in an awkward position because she needs to have a really good hit-the-ground-running situation very, very soon. And right now, she is competing with 1, 2... Well, actually, has Seiko moved into Hunters? Yeah, Seiko's actually quit Glacier Knights and gone to Hunters. So now it's just two people going for it, Stilo and Lucky.
Well, I mean, we didn't see the sideboard of Seiko, so it could be a lot. And yes. Yeah, so still a little bit Glacial Knight. A little bit of Knight still, not exactly Glacial. So yeah, this would be a weird sideboard transition into Glacial Knight for Seiko. But nonetheless, you're right, Lucky, she doesn't have the sort of sideboard that we saw in the very first round that, by the way, she only got 4th place off of. It's definitely looking, it's better than the previous round, but it's still not that great as far as what you said. You got to hit the ground running, and wow, what a crit by the Abyssal Crawler.
Oh man, this is, I mean, 2-star Flaming Wizard is good because it will just instantly one-shot most things. At this stage in the game, you're always going to likely get a one-shot out of your Flaming Wizard. So Seiko's in a pretty solid spot. He's now top of the leaderboard again, and if he were to get first, it would open up the rest of the lobby a bit more because it means it secures himself as just #1.
Yeah.
No one else can get that +2 points. And then you would have a lot of people competing for the between 10 and 11 spot, which even includes Lucky and Vincent. If they were to get second, and some other people wouldn't be in that scenario. It's a weird, this is too difficult to call right now. But it at least leaves some of the rest of the lobby a little bit more open.
So GG Ira here, I think, is probably the player who is the most committed into Glacial Knights that we've seen. A fair number of Glacial and Knights in this lobby, and that's basically the exact same thing of what I just said, but it's still a good setup right now. Not a lot, actually nothing on the sideboard, but it's only round 15, still a good start right now. Stilo, what is that? Are you gonna combine it? Come on, do it. Do it. There it is. Refresher Orb on the side of Stilo. Question is, what unit do you put that on, if any, at this state in the game?
He's running Glacier
Knights.
Knights. So,
Ta-da!
Okay, like I said, there are two main options for this. You either put it on your Fortune Teller or you put it on your Desperate Doctor. None of them are particularly good, but if you make the choice now, at least you can make use of your Refresher Orb.
Do you also just hold on to it? Because there's not a single unit that is you don't. None of these units are ones that you expect the refresher orb to be on at the end game. Would you just hold on to it and wait for that to happen? Wait to fire those units like the Storm Shaman, for example?
Maybe you could hold on to it for Storm Shaman, but then you're spending what 20-something rounds out of your lobby just not using an item that's ridiculously strong. I would get Fortune Teller to 2 and put it on Fortune Teller, almost certainly. That gives me 8 seconds of guaranteed immunity on 2 units.
Yeah, you also could, and then when that happens, just build up a second level 2 Fortune Teller to use the minute you find that, yep, it's going to be actually on the Desperate Doctor.
Yeah, those are the 2 options that he had.
Yeah.
So I think either or is perfectly fine. Desperate Doctor, once you get him to 3, if you get him to 3, this would make him incredibly powerful. So that is a strong late game option there for for Stilo.
I don't know. I'm just a really big fan of the Storm Shaman with the Refresher Orb. It kind of just feels like a waste if it's on anything else.
It's one of the most powerful units alongside Siren to actually have the... I think there are like 4 units that I love it on. I like it on God of Thunder, I like it on Dark Spirit, I like it on Siren, and I like it on Storm Shaman, and sometimes on Tortola Elder, depending on what kind of composition I'm playing. But those are all like my ideal units to have a Refresher Orb on.
What I'm excited about is to see if this Feathered Comp is going to go in towards Assassin, because we're already seeing 2 2-star Abyssal Crawlers on the side of Philip and tearing apart, or at least doing some good damage to the backline of Archdevil. This should be another round win for this player.
This is probably going to be a Feathered Assassin comp.
Yeah.
I like Shadowcrawler. I think that you need to stack her with items to make her really good, but if you can get a 3-star and just with 1 Frantic Mask, that's usually a great spot. I mean, this is looking fantastic. If you can get a 3-star Shadowcrawler as a Feathered Assassin player, that is Pog. That is really good.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good timing on having this many Abyssal Crawlers already.
Hey, taking out the Aegirsis bonus to get towards something. Oh, the 6 feathered. I got it. There we go. So
Shadow Crawler. Why am I saying Abyssal Crawler? The Crawler. Whatever. The Crawler.
Yeah, the Crawler. The Crawler. Abyssal Crawler is... I always confuse the 2, so don't worry about it.
The Abyssal Crawler is the shell that bites the Slowpoke to turn it into a what's the evolution from that?
Slowbro.
Slowbro, yeah.
Yeah. That's what Abyssal Crawler is in this game. It's the shell.
Yeah. Really, it's the same conch thing. Anyway, back to the game. Philip up against Seiko right now. We're looking at the total gold as well. It's actually pretty even. No one player is breaking away from the rest too heavily. Lucky, of course, has the lead, and that just goes to show the reason, the strength of open forwarding and loss streaking, even though you do give up a lot of health. But still, it's not that much of an increase over Seiko and Archdevil.
Vincent's in a rough spot this game again. He doesn't really have a particularly strong composition. He has got a decent amount of economy to work with, and at 29% HP, that is 28 more than you need. So he's
yeah, fair enough.
So he's still got life in him. You know, if you can get through this neutral round, roll it down, look for. Well, we used to call it the #1 Asian server build, which was basically you run this with Venomancer, Soul Reaper, you get like the Warlock Hunter bonus thing going on. It's really strong if you can get it working. So maybe that's what Vincent is looking to do. But again, he needs first or bust, realistically.
Yeah.
He needs first, and if he doesn't get first, he has no chance in hell of getting into the top 4 anyway. So he's in a rough spot.
You're going to take a little bit more damage from this player here. It was GG Arat with those 3 units alive and dropping him down to 21 HP, still double digits, but it's a hard position. Stilo, though, not too far behind on 37, and then 41 for GG Arat.
I'd like to have a look at Lucky. Given that she open forted and she's done her traditional open fort into Glacier Knights, she's actually not in a bad spot. She's got
not the worst.
She's got a 3-star Frost Knight.
Yeah.
Whilst Frost Knight is a bad unit, a 3-star Frost Knight is a good tank.
Yeah.
So it will certainly buy you time in these rounds with that Knight bonus.
And the 2-star for both the Hell Knight and the Lightblade Knight. Not a lot of either of those units on the sideboard to start to really ramp that up into the 3-star, but it's only around 20. This is not the worst position we've seen anyone in try and transition out of a loss streak.
No, pretty good position if you ask me, and she's also almost looking at a 3-star Desperate Doctor too. So whilst they're not the 3 stars you'd ideally want in Glacier Knights,
there's something.
They are something, and 3-star Desperate Doctor has got a lot of stun potential, actually deals a significant amount of damage with his ability, so not in a bad spot whatsoever if you are lucky right now.
Items across the board. Seiko is, of course, the worst position out of those. Only, I think, 5 items total if you're counting the components as individual items. Everyone else, though, pretty even for everyone else. No one really come out on top except for, of course, the lucky player with the refresher orb. Definitely a good find to have. Archdevil right now. No one, yeah, lost the 100%, lost the super win streak earlier than I think we've seen anyone else who was high rolling at any of the sort of rounds, but nonetheless, still a very good team composition on his side of things up against GGA right now, and you can see just how easy it is for his composition to do good work. It's even the level 1 Dwarf Sniper doing a lot of damage. 2.8k there.
Yeah, it kind of shows you the benefit of having just a good front line and a stacked Dwarf Sniper. That's kind of what this Hunter composition is doing. It's what Vincent really would have liked to have had with his composition, but as you can see, he's really just on the other end of things, struggling. Actually got beaten down by that feathered composition that we just saw as well. And Vincent actually looking for potentially a 3-star Dwarf Sniper right now.
You gotta find something down to 9 HP and rolling down to 0 gold essentially. I don't know if the upgrades were there, waiting on some opportunity to use the egg to find the advantage, but nothing there just yet.
Sell the Desperate Doctor and add the Venomancer. Desperate Doctor is much worse than Venomancer in this scenario.
Yeah, especially when both are level 1. It's kind of weird. It's not. There's no glacial bonus there on the side of Desperate Doctor, so I guess just trying to go for the stun over the armor shred. And Vincent's comp is working right now against Seiko.
Yeah, it is. He's kind of in an okay
Found
scenario.
something.
He actually got rid of the Venomancer. It's really interesting, and maybe this is a personal choice in Vincent. I don't know exactly where his thought process is with this. I would just always wager that having the Venomancer with more HP, armor shred is going to give you a better chance at dealing with beefier front lines. But you know, Vincent is here for a reason.
Yeah,
he knows more than me about this comp. I'm just giving my opinion. And he's found a 2-star Desperate Doctor as well, so at least he's going to have a slightly upgraded version of that unit going.
My only guess for that is that it's also the damage coming out from the Venomancer, that it's an upgrade over the Desperate Doctor. But there's damage on the side of Vincent. Could maybe use a couple of level ups on that, especially looking at the Doom Arbiter, and even the damage coming out from the Ghost Ship from the Pirate Captain is definitely something to take in note. Maybe not wanting even more damage, just trying to lean into the utility coming out from the Desperate Doctor. I don't know if the stun came out in time before he died, but the stun from the Ghost Ship might be enough, but the health is not going down fast enough on the side of Archdevil. Vincent might be losing this round, and as such might be going out in 8th place. It's going to be a close one for him.
He's not out yet, but he's going to take significant damage.
The final scream there from the Siren. A war cry of victory. Vincent goes down to 4 HP now.
And his economy is not good, and I don't think he can get any upgrades that are going to suddenly transform his game
not looking good.
Into a first place finish here. So my thoughts are really that Vincent unfortunately has sealed himself a bottom 4 position in this lobby, but we need to look towards the rest of the lobby because it's actually been a fairly rapid progression lobby with Archdevil doing the majority of the damage and everybody except for Archdevil now sitting below 50% HP. Seiko in a comfortable position right now to put himself into the semifinals tomorrow.
We'll see. It's a lot of 3-stars on the side of Philip to start to take him out and start to do some heavy damage, but the mage comp looks to be working on the side of Seiko. AoE coming in, and that's actually a pretty early helicopter as well to see on the side of this player.
Yeah, you always like to see a helicopter in a 6-mage comp.
Yep.
It's a huge amount of AoE magic damage, 200 per bomb. Then you add the magic shred, which increases magic damage if they don't have the magic resistance as well. It's a very powerful ability to work with.
Yeah, definitely good. And there's even more AoE. It's probably, I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the largest, if not the largest AoEs in the game, just as far as the diameter, the radius, and how many units it hits.
So Lucky actually in a solid position now. Lucky very close to finding herself a 3-star Hell Knight. The reason she's not combining, by the way, is if she somehow suddenly came across 2 eggs instead of finding a Hell Knight, she'd be able to add 2 eggs together to make 2 2-star Hell Knights and then find a 3-star Hell Knight that way.
Just because you can't use an egg on a unit you only have 1 of.
Yes, so she's just keeping the Hell Knights because there's no need to manage her board space more than this right now.
Yeah.
Because her board space is fine.
So we did actually just see
bench
Vincent
space.
go down. I think he must have done that right before Wild Wing, so he did actually go out in 8th place from round 24, which is unfortunate to see. One of the players that needed a big game, and it's just not going to happen. We're also still looking at Lucky and Durf to do that, and they're both in a position to do so. Lucky currently in 3rd, Durf currently in 4th, and their health may not look the healthiest compared to Archdevil, but if you look at the entire, I guess, whole lobby, it's pretty on track, and there's huge potential for all of those players, and Durf especially, trying to go for another... Is this a mage comp? It's weird...
This is Dragon Mage comp, but in classic Durf style, he stuck a defector in there, randomly. I mean, the guy knows what he likes, and he likes defector.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something to note, something to acknowledge and appreciate.
Kind of interested in his positioning. He has left himself very exposed to this particular player right here, and he was punished for it, unfortunately. He's now dropped a significant number of places in the rankings. We'll have to see exactly what happens, as GG Irat is also holding on very, very closely towards the end. He's now at 6% HP. He's got a Glacier Knight comp with a 3-star Hell Knight. He's very close to finding a 3-star Lightblade Knight as well. If he can find that, he might be able to scrape an upper echelon position.
We're missing something. We're missing the Frost Knight.
Wait, what? We
only have 3 knights.
He's running Glacier without 4 knights.
That's surprisingly a big decrease in efficiency on the side of this whole Glacial Knight build, and I mean, it's the one Glacial Knight, so the fact that it's not there is a really big missing piece of the puzzle. Even though it's not the best single unit, it's the thing that kind of ties everything together. Luckily, the damage coming out seems to maybe be enough, but no, actually it's going to be the ult from the Siren that stalls it out. Okay, so it is going to be the 3-star Hell Knight, especially coming in strong, the damage, followed up by the Lightblade Knight and the Berserker to give GG Irat the win on this time around. But the metrics are very, very slim. 6 HP, Durf with 3 HP, Stilo with 10, and Philip going to be dropping down to just above 10 himself, just at 10 actually.
This is so close. I mean, Philip's got a he's got a 3-star Shadow Crawler, for goodness sake.
3 stars.
He has gone for Feathered Assassin. This is the first Feathered Assassin comp that we've seen in this entire tournament. It's a comp that I used to love, by the way.
Yeah.
Before Feathered got nerfed, this was my comp. Like, I absolutely loved this to pieces. I very quickly transitioned to Glacier Knights after this. But
As did everyone.
As did everyone. But a 3-star Shadow Crawler, even with just a single Frantic Mask, is good enough to put you in a solid position in a game. So I think he'll beat Durf, no questions asked, because Durf's positioning is just absolutely wild. Yeah, not much more to say than that. It's just wild positioning.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see more players try and extend their positioning out rather than just doing the corner pocket. I think it's a little straightforward and probably brain dead on that positioning, but the 3 stars coming through for Philip, gonna defeat Durf, and it's actually Steel that goes out first. From the low teams, and GG Irat to follow up not long after. I think we actually lost. Did we lose? Yeah, no, we lost Durf first, then Stilo, then GG Irat. That's 3 down in 1 round.
I'm interested to know how this affects the standings, because Psycho's guaranteed through now because he's top 4. So Psycho's absolutely guaranteed through. I think Philip has put himself in contention with his win previously, and now he's in top 4 as well. Lucky is, if she can get first, there is a real situation where Lucky gets through, and Archdevil also is in a good spot.
4 level 3s on the side of Lucky as well.
Wow, when she needed Glacier Knight to turn up, she got Glacier Knight to turn up. She has to get first, though, I think. She does need to try and get first. We have our resident table stats guy, Axel, standing by doing the maths right now, but she's in a solid position.
Yeah, and just looking at the strength of her board right now, just tearing through Philip, who we also acknowledge as having a strong board of his own right. Pretty confident to at least get 2nd place, which even then, I think there's still possibility for Lucky to advance with the 2nd place depending on how everyone else falls, but still going for first is going to be the play. And actually Lucky is currently holding first because Archdevil lost against Lucky on his own board, dropped down to 41 HP.
Lucky loves to split the Knight comp like this. She's done it in almost every game. It basically gives you a slightly better edge versus Mage comps.
Yeah.
Whenever you split, you're always looking to try and draw fire from one side of the board to the other so that one side of your comp doesn't get blasted. And things like Tortorelda will always target the highest priority unit, and usually that's going to be one of your big, powerful 3-stars. It looks like she's drawn most of her Glacier to one side and most of her Knights to the other, so that her Glacier are not going to get wiped out in one Tortorelda ultimate. It's actually quite smart. I like that, and it's a really smart move from her. But again, she's now in first place. If she gets first, I think she could get through. It's gonna be close. I think I'm getting some nods. So if she does indeed get first place here, what a turnaround. What a turnaround. Maybe I'm getting told maybe second as well. So that's
second's a possibility. First is a almost guarantee. First is guaranteed. It's confirmed by a resident statsman here, just to my right. Man, Axel Toss.
What a story. Not
only is Axel Toss the best player in this arena right now, he's also really good at math. What a guy, what a guy. Anyway, Archdevil right now going up against the Philip, the Feathered Assassin player himself. Can the damage from the Assassin come out from the Shadow Crawler?
Oh my god.
Is it enough?
It's insane damage from Shadow Crawler, and I think Archdevil's going to take a serious L here.
That's big. That's going to be a lot of damage. Oh, look at the damage coming out on Shadow Crawler's proper board. It's going to be 7.3 thousand points of damage.
Lucky, I think her only real threat right now is going to be this Feathered Assassin comp. That's the only and since the Feathered nerfs, Glacial Knight generally tend to beat Feathered Assassin, even though it was very much the opposite previously. So I think if you're lucky, obviously you just have to hope that your Knight Shields beat the crits of the Shadow Crawler. But other than that, I don't think she has much competition, and I don't think Philip has much competition either. This is these are two very strong builds right now in this lobby.
I mean, the only way to really make Feathered Assassin work is if you are able to get those 3 stars, which of course relies on the RNG when you do your roll downs. Philip was able to hit those points. Philip was able to make it work, but you pointed out Philip up against Lucky. This is Lucky's team comp does reign supreme. Seiko goes out in split second, literally 1 second right before Philip. So Philip is just barely going to survive to 3rd place, and that means Archdevil gets 2nd after this. Can Archdevil usurp Lucky? Nope, you cut me off. You didn't even let me finish the question. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Like, you look at the 3 stars, you look at the power of this Glacier Knight right now, it does not lose to that Hunter comp. It would have to have a very bad day to lose to that Hunter comp, I think.
Yeah, literally have to roll zeros on every single one of those shield refreshes from the Knights. It's a lot of items that we saw for a split second. I think all those items were on Lucky. But this is actually looking a bit closer than you made it sound. I say that, again, you're only supposed to look at the level 3 Hell Knight and the level 3 Lightblade Knight, and that's really the things that are going to town.
Actually, you say that on the side of I maybe kind of overstepped the margin a little bit there. I think that was a little bit better for that was much better for Archdevil than I thought it would be. I just felt that Lucky was in. Oh, he's got the Dragonbone Ballista. He literally just combined that. Okay, itemization does mean a lot in these kind of builds.
Yep.
And sometimes you can get insanely lucky with those crits for sure.
So in certain ways, I view the late game, basically when it's 1v1, as its own separate game, because you're suddenly given more than twice the items that you have throughout the rest of the game, and you also know exactly who you're going up against, so you can position against them specifically rather than just a generalized positioning. And so that item build for Archdevil might be the thing that could turn it into his favor, but Lucky could easily make a positioning change, a positioning adjustment for her own sake. 40% HP versus 18% HP. She does have a health advantage going into this fight. But Archdevil, that's going to be a lot of damage towards Lucky.
Yeah, I actually called this way too early. I felt like there was no way that Archdevil beat the Glacier Knight comp as it stood, but I think he's got a lot of mana generation on his Siren. He's also got a Siren level 2. Did Archdevil? No, he won for sure. So
he did win.
He's got a Siren 2, whereas Lucky's only got a Siren 1. That Siren is one of the biggest factors in beating Glacier Knights because you lock them down for a long period of time, which means they aren't attacking, and that's obviously the most important part. I think if you're Lucky, like, what are you looking for? I would be going to 10 maybe. I would be maybe adding Devastator. I would maybe be adding Dark Spirit. Maybe going for the 4 Agursis with the Agursis Ranger. There's a lot of things you could do.
Yeah, the 4 Agursis might be a thing, but finding an Agursis Ranger not going to be super
At level 10
reliable.
for sure, yeah.
I mean, you'll find it maybe faster than you'll find any tier 5 units, but still it's going to be a level 1. It would literally be brought in strictly for... Oh, okay, so we get the upgrade on the Siren. This could be what Lucky needs in order to turn this back, because so far we've seen Archdevil seem to have the matchup advantage in this final 1v1.
She's gone to level 10. That was the correct move, I think, and now working towards maybe a Pirate Captain too. We should give her the CC that maybe she needs to make this work.
We'll see. It's only level 1 right now.
Yeah.
We'll see if the Pirate Captain's even able to get that ultimate ability off before he dies.
He's going to get blasted very quickly.
Oh, okay, gets a couple of hits in. I'm looking at the mod. I don't think he got it. I don't think he got it.
I think the Siren 2 is big though, dude. The Siren 2 is really big at dealing with sort of fighting back against the Hunters.
Yeah, actually that's going to be the case. Even though the Pirate Captain Ghost Ship did not come out, the Siren ultimate was enough to put this back into Lucky's favor, at least on her own board. And actually, Lucky does win on Archdevil's board as well. Granted, with 1 unit alive, but still, a win is a win.
Let's have a look at Archdevil. He could also go to level 10 if he wanted, by the way. I'm wondering whether he's just sticking around for maybe trying to keep his chances of Dwarf Sniper 3 alive. But I don't think there's anything that he can upgrade majorly at this point without going to level 10. So I wouldn't even be too...
Go to 10, bring in the Dark Spirit.
Yeah, exactly. I think it gives you the Warlock bonus, which gives you a major... Plus the Dark Spirit gives you a major win condition versus Lucky herself.
I mean, Dark Spirit is the one counter for Knight. That's the big counter to Knight's what everyone says. So it's kind of a little bit of a weird decision that he's not going for. Maybe waiting for the 2-star, just because 1-stars are, no matter what tier, at this stage of the game, a 1-star is unreliable on getting their ult off before they die. Look at this. Look at this damage come in.
The Pirate Captain is so good versus Archdevil right now. Because when what happens is his Siren ultimate goes off, and that is the core time when you want your Hunters to be doing damage, because you have increased physical damage during Petrification.
Yeah.
But they're getting stunned by the Pirate Captain, so they can't do anything during that time, and it's actually working out really well. But he has indeed gone to level 10.
The 2-star
Dark Spirit. That gives him a major win condition versus Lucky right now.
I don't know, 6 HP left. Kind of cutting it down to the wire when Archdevil is trying to turn this back. But Lucky, 28 HP. We saw Archdevil have the advantage just a couple of rounds previously. The Dark Spirit may be exactly what the Doctor ordered. Lucky trying to clinch this final spot. Second place is still possible, but first place is required for the secure qualification into the semifinals. But the Siren ultimate comes out from the side of Archdevil, going to be stalling up Lucky's squad. But is the damage enough for the Archdevil? The 3-stars are still alive, but no, they're going to go down. It's going to be a couple of units alive from Archdevil to deal some damage to Lucky.
She unfortunately didn't channel the entire Siren ultimate.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. When it gets cut off, when it gets canceled, because the cooldown is still already started.
So yeah, keep an eye on what maybe we could see come out here for Lucky. I'm thinking pick up the Pirate Captain for sure. I mean, sell Tsunami Stalker and pick up the Pirate Captain, because the Pirate Captain 2 would be so big for her in this scenario. Oh, she didn't go for it. No worries.
Well, I think she's maybe looking to replace the Pirate Captain with something else.
Probably Dark Spirit 2.
Oh, yeah. Looking for the final Dark Spirit. Sitting on 2 on the sideboard, waiting for the 3rd.
We'll see. She's got time. She's got 20 HP or so she has got a bit of time right now.
Pirate Captain Ghost Ship does come in.
That's good.
The same time that the Siren ultimate, I believe, from Lucky happened as well. It's really hard to read, but a good Siren ultimate from the side of Archdevil may give enough time, and it's just the Frost Knight left. It's a level 3, but the damage from that unit is not enough. The Lightblade Knight was deleted after the Siren ult. That's a little bit of damage onto Lucky, but Archdevil also lost only 1 unit, but now down to 3 HP.
We are now going into the Glacier Clan round.
The Glacial Clan.
Is that it? Or is that it? That's almost a 3-star Doom.
Do it. Do it. Come on, do it.
I was doing a Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars, do it, but I agree. Do it. No, I think you can wait. I think you can sell off Pirate Captain. You go for one or the other. Sell off Pirate Captains. Then get to above 10 gold and then roll it down after the Glacier round. For sure.
Those random, selling it, the random 2-stars just to get those rolls.
Because you ain't getting a 3-star Pirate Captain and a 3-star Doom. Yeah. That's just greedy.
Yeah, come on. Leave some for the little man.
2-star Dark Spirit is going to help clean up the Glacier Clan.
Yep, both of these players should be able to take care of these trolls fairly easily. look at the items right now. A number of them picked up by Archdevil specifically could be able to turn those into some extra advantage. I saw he just put a new item onto the Shadow Spirit. Can't take a look at those items there. Good number though. Heart of Tarrasque.
Interesting. That's a 3-star Doom. That's it. That's over. That's over now for Angel. I think that puts Lucky into second place because we saw how impactful the pure damage is for Doom versus Glacier Knights. It is insane.
Could be big, but it's Knights. You could still rely on the good rolls from the shields if they happen, but will they be enough? That's the big question. The Dark Spirit ultimate comes in as well as the ultimates from basically everyone, all happening at the same time. And the damage looked to be strong for Lucky at the very beginning, right before the Siren stun happened. But oh my god, the level 3 Lightblade Knight, nope, but the punches from the level 3 Doom are enough. It was close for Archdevil, comes out on top, but Lucky also won her own board.
Oh, wow, that's insane. She's got a 2-star Dark Spirit, so I'm assuming just a good Dark Spirit ultimate is able to save her in this scenario. Wow, this is so tough. I mean, what do you do here? Do you get rid of something for the 2-star Pirate Captain that you've got? Like, what do you get rid of in this scenario? This is too tough.
I don't know. I don't think you can get rid of any of the Knights. You definitely can't get rid of any of the Glacier. Do you maybe get rid of... Oh, but the Agursis bonus is strong too. The
Agursis bonus is too good to get rid of. I actually almost think that you could get rid of Siren because you don't have any mana generation on her.
Siren for the Pirate Captain?
I would almost get rid of Siren for the Pirate Captain. Oh, no, you do have mana generation on him. You do have mana generation on your Siren. This is way too tough. I wouldn't know what kind of decision to make here.
Stuns from both sides. It's all about timing. It's all about who gets it all first and where they land. This is looking big. This is good for Lucky on her own board. But Archdevil also won on his own board. This is just going back and forth further and further.
I almost assumed that the 3-star Doom was going to clean up the Knights, but she has got the 2-star. I didn't see that she had the 2-star Dark Spirit. And that
perfect timing to find that pickup.
Percentage max health pure damage is going to help deal with that 3-star Doom very quickly. So it's basically a Dark Spirit versus Dark Spirit battle at this point, I feel. Like whoever gets the better Dark Spirit ultimate with the Night Shield RNG combined on which board is going better. Because Hunters are more consistent, right? They're always going to deal consistent damage. But yeah.
Watch it's a little bit of RNG, but watch where the stuns bounce from the Desperate Doctor on Lucky's side. If it stuns any of the major ultimates from Archdevil, that could be the opening that's needed.
Oh, Siren survived! Siren survived, just about to get the Siren ultimate off here for Lucky. She has more HP to work with, where she's going to lose this round, I think, but we need to look at Archdevil because obviously he's the most important one. He's on the 3% HP right now.
Yeah, so... Lucky, round loss for Lucky, but Archdevil won with 3 units alive.
Okay.
Semi-confident win there. I love the Heart of Tarrasque on the Dark Spirit, I think is a great play.
You would love to have it on the Doom.
You would just a little bit, but at the same time, I don't hate it just because we know how Dark Spirit counters Knights so much.
Yeah.
Keep that player alive.
He's also added the Beast bonus in, as well as he's got the big Warrior frontline also, so... I would say Archdevil's in a good spot right now. But again, it really does come down to Dark Spirit ultimate usage, who gets their Siren ultimate off first, who has the better Night Shield RNG on which board. It is very tough to call it at this point in time.
And there are going to be people that are biting their fingernails on who wins because the position that both of these players get could change the qualification for a number of different players. We're all running the math right now. Archdevil wins his own board once again. How is Lucky going to be faring on her own board? She's going to win as well. It's 3 units alive on both sides. And we're going into round 45 into the Nyan Beast. Is this something that could take out Archdevil?
No.
He's too powerful?
They've both got 2-star Dark Spirits. Dark Spirit is one of the best units versus neutral rounds in general because, again, the pure damage, the max percentage health pure damage. You're seeing it's why Lucky is putting Dark Spirit right out the front here. You just get that off and it ends up being good. I'm interested to see if we keep getting this stalemate up until round 50. It's a little known fact that if you take on round 50, which is Roshan, actually called Roshan in this game as well, if you get to round 51, everyone's HP gets halved. Just randomly, because the game is...
The game's like, come on, we got places to go. We got places. Come on, I got people waiting.
Yeah, you can see both players very quickly.
It wasn't even close.
I want to know what items get picked up here. Which items get picked up here for which players? That is a Wraith Shard for Lucky. What is that? Can that combine into anything for her? Can that Wraith Shard give her anything impactful?
Wow, okay, she got to actually own Dragonborn Ballista.
Yeah.
That could be big.
She's given the Wraith Shard over to the Hell Knight, actually, because I think I think that the Lightblade Knight had a full inventory.
Dodge percent chance on the side of the Doom. That could also be something impactful.
That's actually pretty significant. That is pretty significant. God, this is going to be literally a game of inches. I was so tempted to call it one way or the other, but it has been much closer than I anticipated.
Damage coming in from both sides, but more importantly, the stuns and the big giant AoE. I don't know who's winning either board right now. I
think that Lucky has lost.
Lucky's lost. I don't think Lucky has taken enough, but Lucky won against Archdevil. Level 3 Lightblade Knight is more than enough. Lucky drops down to 2 HP on her own board, but just in time, able to win against Archdevil. Finally gets removed. And I think this is Lucky securing her spot. She was in a rough position coming into this final game. But if I'm not mistaken, she's now qualified.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure with that #1 spot, that gives her a total of 14 points, which I believe gets her qualification.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look at her reaction there on the stage. She's all smiles. I think she knows with that win, she goes through. But guys, it's pretty dramatic because according to my unofficial calculations on my professional piece of paper, if she had gotten second there, it would have been a tie.
A tiebreaker.
For fourth. Yeah, okay. It would have been a tie for fourth with Steelo.
Wow.
Which I don't know what happens there. So
I think we go to whoever placed the highest with the shortest number of rounds or something like that. I don't know exactly what the tiebreaker situation was.
It's a weird tiebreaker.
Actually, now that I'm looking at my data, we have a tie for first.
You've got a tie for first?
Archdevil and Psycho.
I need to double check.
Are both at 19.
I need to double check what the tiebreaker rules situation is. But
the number of times they just told me in my ear the number of times they finished first.
The number of times they finished first. So Psycho finished first more times,
and then it goes to higher ranking in a single game.
Higher ranking in a single game, and then it goes somewhere else.
And third is highest win-loss ratio.
Yeah, that's where it goes somewhere else. That's just wild, and you just cannot expect that no matter what.
Fourth is number of wins. Fifth is rock papers. Sorry. Just kidding about fifth. It was all true until up to fourth. Wow, that's craziness. So I think we're going to take a look at the final standings in a second here, but these are my unofficial results. But what crazy dramatics there, because Lucky was literally on the verge of of potentially just getting knocked out.
Yeah.
You know, getting in second, tiebreakers, but she was able to just push that all aside and get first.
Honestly, I'll be honest here, I kind of forgot what happened until the final 1v1 back and forth because that was such a long, dramatic engagement there.
I was basically saying, it's done for this person now. Oh, it's done for this person now. But they both made really intelligent decisions, teched in good units. They found the certain outs that would help them, like Doom with pure damage at 3 is so good versus Knights, for instance. But Lucky brought in the 2-star Dark Spirit and had the Siren with the mana generation. Siren is such an important unit when you're trying to counter against these high damage output teams. This is the match result, as you can see.
Both Lucky and Archdevil have just barely, if not more than the wins and losses of third place combined.
Yeah.
Like
46 rounds. I think that's the highest we've been today.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, 46,
it was a really, really close.
I think we've hit like 46 or 47 in another game, but not much higher. If anything.
I want to see 51.
I'm interested because I think Lucky obviously has qualified now. I'm really interested to see.
Oh, we're going to know right now. We're going to show the group results right. Was I right in my data accumulation? Yes, there was a tie for first. Okay.
And Seiko ends up getting second. So that was the tiebreaker where Archdevil won that.
Philip third, and Lucky. And then you see how close it was. So again, remember, if she had gotten second, she'd get 7 points instead of 9. So she would have been tied with Steelo with 12. Yes, my math was right.
Steelo, even after getting second place on the second round, doing too poor.
Yeah.
On round 1 and 3 is not enough. You cannot rely on one. You can't even rely on a win, much less a second place, if your other rounds are that poor in a best of 3.
And we talked about being adaptable, right? We talked about being. But I'm going to make a counterpoint. Lucky did the same thing. Lucky did the same thing every game and forced Glacier Knights through an open fort, an adjusted open fort strategy, but an open fort strategy, and qualified.
And,
so
you know, not only that too. In the second game, she got last.
Yep.
She got last place.
She got
in the
fourth,
second
last,
game.
first.
And you know, she has to know that she needs first in the last game.
Yeah.
Like that is her #1 goal because she got last in the second game.
Yeah.
That is just wild. It's wild.
But it shows you that there is multiple different pathways that you can utilize in auto chess. You do not need to play the 100% play what you get. Sometimes if you just, I mean, open fort is a way that kind of circumvents that play what you get strategy.
A little bit.
Because you have more economy to work with. Yeah, really interesting to see how
it does give you a little bit more resource to use to find the specific units you want, rather than, as you said, getting what you're given and just rolling with that to a point. You also take a lot of damage on health. We saw Lucky get punished 1, arguably 2 games because of it. It's not the most reliable thing, but it is an option. She did qualify.
Yeah,
just barely.
Just barely, but she qualified, and that's all you needed to do.
Yeah,
unbelievable. I think we're moments away from just getting into the next round here. One more round to go in the quarterfinals. Scoundrel, are you done for the day?
I'm done for the day.
Scoundrel's done for the day. Cameron, you're hanging out.
No, I'm good. I'm done. I'm hanging out. I'm hanging out.
Yeah, we're
Cameron's
done
hanging
too.
out. All right. Well, just nothing but dramatics here. What a cool story, though. The only female player to qualify to get to this top 32 tournament has succeeded and has been able to get to the next round. She's going to the round of 16, the semifinals, which will be played tomorrow. Of course, a little quick recap of what we just saw. Philip, Archdevil, Lucky, Psycho, Steelo, Vincent, Durf, and GG Irad all going at it here in the third group of the quarterfinals. Again, 8 players aiming for top 4, and this flight could not have been closer, literally coming down to a tie for our top 2 players and nearly a tie for our 4th and 5th players. Steelo, unfortunately for him, he's going to be finishing outside of the top 4. Psycho, he's going to make it through, coming from Germany in that tie, or actually, I'm not sure if he got absolute first, but
no, he got second.
Yeah, second place after the tiebreakers, but nothing but dramatics here, as it could not have been closer. As we're looking through the score from the second round and, of course, the third round, the winning moment there from Lucky. Smile on her face. She knows exactly what she just accomplished, and she's going to be advancing to the top 16 of our tournament. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take potentially our final break of the evening here, as we're going to advance into our final group stage in the quarterfinals. We're going to have 8 more players coming onto the stage, so stay tuned. You're watching the 2019 Auto Chess Invitational $1 million prize pool. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Group D.